marched outside during the past 15 days. This in protest against Governor Scott Walker's latest measures to reduce employee pay and undermine unions in the state. Protesters see the proposals as an effort to weaken the labor movement. The State Assembly has approved Walker's proposal to strip public sector unions of most collective bargaining rights. The plan now needs the state Senate's approval. Earlier this week, tens of thousands of people across America rallied in solidarity with the demonstrators in Wisconsin. Well, for more on that story, we're now joined by Jennifer Lowenstein, who is with the University of Wisconsin, who joins us from the capital of Wisconsin, Madison. Ms. Lowenstein, thank you very much for joining us here on Press TV. Could you give us more about the situation on the ground there? I mean, it seems like there's no let-up as far as the popular protests are concerned.
No, there isn't, and I think that's one of the most inspiring elements of the whole movement, is that it started out relatively small with maybe 150 people showing up the first day of the protest 13 days ago, and ever since then the protests, the numbers have just been building and building and building. Schools have closed, in one case for 5 days straight, for teachers to show their solidarity up at the Capitol, and the teachers' unions are still picketing outside the front of the schools. Even as the school reconvenes, there are police officers who have joined the demonstrators in the Capitol building this past Saturday. It was so exciting and unbelievable to see. Really, it was a very exciting moment, and as you said, they just keep. These protests just keep building. The momentum is building and building and building, and I don't think we've even seen it reach its peak yet.
Right, so Ms. Lowenstein, in your opinion, what are the root causes of this crisis, and where is it really headed under the present circumstances?
Well, the root causes of this crisis are probably many, and I would say they probably go back at least 3 years with the economic crisis worldwide. Americans have been hit very hard economically, especially the middle classes and the working classes, and yet we have in government a shift to the right and desire to increase neoliberal policies and the privatization of public spheres, public sectors. And what's happening is that we are, something this happens with many countries. I think we are a society where the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, and the middle class is thinning out. It's not by any means disappeared. The middle class has been driving the protests in Wisconsin, which again is very interesting because traditionally the labor movement has been led by the lower middle classes and the lower classes, and yet here we are seeing the public sector employees and their unions showing up literally day after day after day, demanding that they not lose their right to collective bargaining. That I think people are starting to realize that it's come down to if we give up these rights, we might as well just become an oligarchy, because we're not a democracy. We're a corporate democracy. We're a country where corporations have the rights of human beings, of individuals, and that's not an exaggeration. That was a Supreme Court ruling just this past year. People are starting to get very upset about this, and to me that's a relief, because I think that the policies that we've been seeing in this country domestically as well as in our foreign policy, I think that these have been building over a series of years, decades in fact, and that for people like myself, I mean people who have been watching the international news and the national news for a long time. Many of us have been wondering when Americans are going to wake up and start to get angry about what our leaders are doing. And it is just very heartening to see it finally happening, and for me especially to see it happening right here in my hometown of Madison. We've seen demonstrations this week that we have not seen demonstrations as big as the ones that were taking place this week since the Vietnam War, and that is a very encouraging sign.
All right, we'll have to leave it there for now. That was Ms. Jennifer Lowenstein with the University of Wisconsin joining us on the line from Madison. Ms. Lowenstein, we appreciate your insight here at Press TV.
Moving on.